the fact that it's going through the whole flock, it might be something more severe like avian influenza.
We're gonna have a autopsy done on our 2 chickens to make sure they don't have the avian flu. This is bizarre.
Yeah, so this all started about a month or so ago. We've noticed that some of our chickens started to have some sort of like respiratory issue or sickness, and we've actually lost a few of the chickens from it. This poor girl here caught it. And since we don't know what we're doing, we go online to our trusty Facebook friends to see if they have any suggestions.
It's an absolute beautiful day in December. I'm very grateful for it because I did not get my wildflower seeds planted yet. So I am going to do that today. I have a plan and I'm super excited about it. I really had a lot of luck with Eden Brothers wildflower seeds, so I am going to be doing wildflowers and cosmos, and I'm also going to do daisies, which is new for me this year, zinnias, of course, and I got these sweet pea flower seeds that are supposed to be really good flower fillers, and I'm gonna give these guys a try. So that's what I'm doing today.
And it wasn't long before we had a lot of different suggestions. I mean, so many different suggestions that it became obvious that there wasn't one right thing to do.
Putting chickens in the cat carrier.
Thanks everybody for the advice that you gave. It seems like there are a couple at-home remedies that we could do, but we just wanted to make sure and kind of get a certain diagnosis on the chickens, so we know exactly what we're dealing with. So I'm gonna go find that chicken that I had yesterday and try to get her into the cat carrier so that Mary Kate can bring her to the vet. Go ahead, go ahead. Bradley Biscuit. Okay, so Mary Kate just told me that the vet wanted to see a couple of the chickens, so I'm gonna go see if we have another chicken that's not looking very healthy. It's not really obvious that there's another one that's not feeling very well, so that's good news. This is kind of discouraging because some of the things that you read online say that the options are to just cull, which is a nice way of saying kill, the entire flock, which is certainly not something that we want to do, or you just kind of let them live their lives with like decreased egg production, and anytime that you would introduce new chicks to the flock, obviously they would probably get infected as well. So, you know, kind of getting into this, I knew the chances were pretty good that we would have to deal with some sort of sickness, especially as our flock started to grow. And I'd rather deal with it now rather than deal with it like, you know, years from now when we have a much bigger flock. So, what's this? Was he the one that was lame?
Well, I think she's been broody, but sounds bad.
Yeah, she does. I kind of noticed that she's big too.
She feels really heavy.
All right, we do have another chicken.
Here, let me just pick that. That's better. All right.
Okay, good luck.
Off I go. Bye. So I'm off to the vet with chickens. Literally. Never thought I'd say those words ever. But this is the world we're living now, apparently. And since I'm probably going to be the one administering the medication on that, it's probably best that I go and get the 411. So we will see. Off we go.
It looks like a upper respiratory infection.
Okay.
In the chickens. From what I'm seeing, it's real kind of typical. But the fact that it's going through the whole flock, it might be something more severe like avian influenza, which is a reportable disease.
Okay.
Because it's reportable, I need to make a phone call to the federal agency.
Okay.
And see what they suggest. So let me go make a phone call and see what the state wants to do.
Okay. Here's the deal. Right now, I am driving to Urbana, Illinois, to bring my 2 now dead chickens to have a necropsy done, to make sure they don't have the avian flu.
So this is present day Marty. It's winter outside now. We got snow. It's like the winter tundra. Penelope's in the stall next door about to give birth to her baby piglets. But I just wanted to jump in and say that when Mary Kate called me to tell me that they could possibly have the avian flu, I mean, so I kind of started freaking out a little bit because I started Googling, and it's very rare that humans can contract the avian flu. But it does happen to like 100 or so people every year. And the article goes on to say, but if you're not a farmer, you have nothing to worry about. But if you're around poultry often, and that chicken that was in that video that I showed you with the bad eye, right after I turned that video off, it like sneezed in my face. And it was gross. And I was like, is that bad? There was a little bit there where I was seriously worried that I might be one of those 100 people that contracted the avian flu.
I feel like I'm being punked a little bit, and that maybe we should have just listened to people on the Facebook page that told us just to treat them with antibiotics. But we're gonna have a autopsy done on our 2 chickens to make sure they don't have the avian flu. I don't know what else to say. Okay, so I am pulling into Urbana now to drop off our chickens. I mean, I'm glad that they are doing what they're doing and that they're being extra cautious, but I feel like there should be a better way to check it than to kill both of my chickens and to have me drive 2 hours round trip to drop them off. The deed is done. Our dead chickens have been dropped off. And I said I was really hoping that today I was going to go to the vet and come home with antibiotics for them. But instead, I had to drive 2 hours and drop you 2 of my dead chickens. And he said, yeah, that's not ideal, but at least we can get down and do more tests than your vet would be able to do. So, I don't know.
All right, so it's been a few days now. And the good news is, it's not the avian flu. It is some sort of avian bacteria, and they gave us something to put in their water to treat them with it. But unfortunately, because they're on the medication, we won't be able to eat or sell their eggs for 2 weeks, which is a bummer. Here's the antibiotics we're gonna have to give them. Hey guys, back to present day, Marty. I was really hoping that by taking the chickens into the vet, that there would be an obvious diagnosis and an obvious solution. But the only thing that we've really learned from this experience is that if you bring the chicken to the vet and there's already been a few chickens that have died from the sickness, you're gonna have to kill those chickens and drive 2 hours south to have them autopsied to figure out exactly what they have, because the vet can't tell you. And it's weird because we can't just kill the chickens and bring them straight down to the university, have them tested. It has to go through a vet. So in the future, if this happens again, where our chickens get sick and we're not quite sure what it is, I guess we just have to go through the same thing all over again, which just seems absurd. It seems like there should be a better way to diagnose what our chickens have. Or I guess we just take stabs in the dark with the medication and hope that we got the medication right. Maybe as we continue to try to be good farmers, it's going to become more and more apparent to us what the sickness is, and the treatment is going to become, more obvious. But it's hard to believe that I'm ever going to be able to get to a point where I can look at a chicken and diagnose what's wrong with it. But, maybe I will. Anyways, I appreciate you guys watching today. If you'd like to follow along with our crazy adventures here on the farm, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.